Welcome back. We're working in Module 3 and we're talking about character formatting in this particular module. This is section 4 where I really want to get into some of those character formatting options with you. We're here in our exercise and you'll notice that when you look through here, there's a title at the top. There's a couple little subtitles, buying a home, selling a home, but nothing really stands out from anything else here. That's because when you first type in your text in Microsoft Word, you're going to have black text. It's all going to line up on the left-hand side. It's all the same size. When you start changing the original characteristics, that's called formatting, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to make some of these things stand out a little bit. Let's start with our title. I'm going to go ahead and select the title here. And let's start with your font grouping right here. The first thing you'll notice here where it says Times New Roman in this case, this is what we call your font list. And fonts are just different ways the letters look. You'll notice that if you move your mouse over the different fonts, you don't even have to click, it'll show you a preview of what it's going to look like if you pick that particular option. You have tons of them here, so make sure you pick something that you like. If you choose something and later you decide you want to change it, you can always change it. So I'm going to go back up here. I happen to like this Algerian. The default font, by the way, meaning the one that's there usually automatically when you start typing, is called Calibri. The next thing you'll see here is where this 12 is. That's going to be the size of your text. That's your font size. When we talk about fonts, we're referring to point sizes. So 12 stands for 12 points. You'll notice this list goes all the way down and it stops at 72. Little piece of trivia, 72 points is equivalent to 1 printed inch. What if you want a number that's not on this list? All you do is type it up here. So as long as this is selected, you can type any number you want. Let's say I put 200 and you hit the enter key. Look how big that is, but it gives you what you want. Let's say you want a half size, 15.5, and enter. Now I have that size. So you don't have to stick with exactly what's on the list. Something else that happens often is you pick something from the list and it's too big, and then you pick something else and it's too small, and you don't get the exact size you're looking for. These two A's that you see right here will increase or decrease your font by one size on that list. So that's really helpful. Here where you have the large A and the small a, this is where you can change the case of your letters. Sentence case means the first letter is capital and everything else is a small letter. Lowercase is all lowercase, uppercase all uppercase. Capitalize each word, that's where each word, the beginning letter, will have a capital letter. And then toggle, if you've ever had the caps lock key on, you can flip the case of each of the letters. So just know that's all available. On the bottom line, you have B for bold, you have I for italics, and U for underline. So you can see that you can turn any of these on or off that you like. Notice with the underline, there's an arrow, so you have different choices as far as how you want your underline to look as well. The next one is your strike through. You would use that a lot if you work with contracts, for example, and you need to change the contract. You wouldn't actually delete the old information. You would actually strike through the old information and put the new information to the right. These two X's that you see right here, these are actually called subscript, and this one's called superscript. Subscript, if you think about H2O, where the 2 is below the H and the O, that's a good example of subscript. And superscript, like you see here, a good example of that would be if you think about Mattel toys where they put that little trademark, the TM, up at the end of the text there, that would be superscript. All right, a couple of these we're going to skip over. We're going to go over to this one here, and this is your font color. So the text can look any way you like. Let me go back and take the strike through off. Here we go. So I can have any color I like for my text. I can also create my own color. So if I don't see a color I like in this color palette, see where it says more colors? I can click on that and pick from the standard color palette, or come to custom and create my own color by dragging through the color palette. Wherever this arrow happens to be, that's going to be the new color you create. Now this one here is your highlighting tool. So if you think about when you actually print out a piece of paper and you grab your yellow highlighter and you highlight something, that's what this is. And I can highlight in any color that I would like. If you're looking for an option and you don't see it here, there might be more options when you click this arrow on the bottom right. So let's click there and see if we see anything new. Here's our font, so we could do that from the ribbon. Here's our bold and italics, our font sizes, nothing new yet. Font color. Underline style. So we saw that when we actually clicked on underline, there were different styles we could choose. If you've chosen an underline style, you can then pick an underline color. So that's something we did not have the option to do earlier. Down at the bottom I have some check boxes. We've seen strike through. We have not seen double strike through. That's not a button that was on our ribbon there. Here's super and subscript. Over on the right we have capital letters, but they're small. We've got all caps, which are just all capital letters, regular size, and then hidden text. And let me show you what hidden text is. I'm going to check hidden and click OK. If you notice, your title's hidden. Now, what's the point of this? Hidden text becomes part of your non-printing characters. So that means the only way you'd ever see it is to turn on your non-printing characters like this. Why would you want that? Well, here's a couple of good reasons. One time I was working on some materials, and with permission I was able to go to some different websites and get some different information and copy it. I wanted to actually know on each page where I got that information from. I wanted the web address in the footer. Well, I obviously didn't want the students to see that, so I actually put the website in the footer and I made it hidden, and that way I know it's there but you don't. So that's a really good example of it, and you can find your own examples for that as well. So I'm going to select it again. I'll turn these off. I'm going to go ahead and select it again, and by the way, even though I don't see it here, it's still there, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and select it this way just so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going to uncheck hidden. Now a couple more things before I get out of this window. I just want you to notice this set as default. A very common thing that people say to me is, I'd like to start typing a new blank document and have it start typing in a specific font or a specific size. Well, if you change any settings here and you set as default, then that's going to be the new settings when you create a new blank document. I'm going to go ahead and take off my underline color here. I'll just make it white again, and I'll pick out my underline style and I'll click OK. And now let me turn these off, and you can see that your title is here again. Now if you ever want to take the highlighting off, just select it, and remember, here's your highlighting tool. Just say no color. That's how your character formatting options are going to work. What I'd like to do now is I want to go ahead and real quick talk to you in section 5 about how the Format Painter works, because you'll want to copy this formatting sometime to other areas of your document. I'll see you shortly.